How often do you get that phantom vibration thing when your cell phone pretends to get a notification, but doesn't? Submitted by WeLikeCheeseAndStuff. Enough to know what you are talking about, but not too often. At least once a day. Sometimes I get it when my phone isn't even in my pocket. Not often, but the weird thing is, I'll feel it and pull my phone out. Then someone will text me like my body anticipates the text. Never anymore because I don't use the vibrate function, but when I got my first cell years ago it happened all the time. I do, however, frequently think I hear the Imperial March because it is my ringtone. I wear hearing aids. They have Bluetooth connection. I get a ding for notifications. When I remove them for sleep or shower, I get phantom dings sometimes. You're not alone. Enough where I've wondered if people with friends have the same problem as your Cha-Cha, Danny Phantom. Your phone really is vibrating. It's so you take your phone out of your pocket and your FBI agent can see your surroundings through the cameras. About once a week. But I raise everyone here a question. Is it simply a psychological effect caused by cell phones now, or do you think it's possible that we've had those sensations before cell phones but never attributed them to anything? Or maybe it's the ghosts of your previous phones calling you lol. I can tell you when I don't get it, every time I get an actual message. Used to when my phone was small enough to fit in my front pocket. At least 2 to 3 times a day. Now most of my front pockets are fake and my phone wouldn't fit in them anyway. I constantly feel like I get notifications on my Apple Watch, but when I check there's nothing new there. The first time I went to jail it felt like people were blowing my phone up. I would touch my leg where the vibration would be and then I'd remember where I was. Never. My phone isn't set to vibrate, so there's no reason for me to assume it would. I call them notifications. Not sure if I came up with that term. Probably not. But yeah, they happen once or twice a week. It's actually vibrating when it thinks you haven't used it recently enough. Phone companies don't want us to ignore our phones for long, so they just tickle us with a little reminder once in a while. Hashtag there is an phantom. I used all the time, but Apple Watch finally ended that problem this year. Lots. Ever since I got my smartwatch, I can even get it on my wrist. Not too often. There was this time I felt a vibration and I went to grab my phone. But I didn't have my phone on me. Spoopy. It's the NSA agent assigned to watch you clocking out. It used to happen to me a lot when I was younger and more attached. Now as I'm getting older, I'm caring less and less about my phone and enjoying what's around me. Probably a misquote, but Grandpa meet my friend Steve. Fuck Steve. I just wanna watch my shows. Tom Segura. We use Slack at work for department communication, and my friends from college have an active Slack workspace that we all communicate in, so when I'm at work, I have all of them open. They were all set to the default Slack notification sound. And after a couple months I did notice that I would hear phantom notifications. Especially when listening to music. Usually a couple times a day. In an unrelated effort to differentiate between work and friends notifications, I went to change the alert sound on my friend's Slack workspace. And discovered the hummus notification sound, which is just a female monotone voice saying the word hummus. Anyways, it's been about 2 months and I've started hearing phantom hummuses now, so that's fun. When my phone is on my bedside table and it vibrates, I can hear it from downstairs as if it's in the room as here, so phantom vibration is a controversial subject for me. It's a stroke. In a former job I was on call for IT issues. Usually calls came in during the night. I still wake up sometimes thinking I hear the phone going off. That's fucking mind-boggling actually. The first time I got it I was like, WTF, I didn't even take any drugs. Then one day I hadn't got it, so I checked and I had lost my phone somewhere. Good times. Currently phoneless. Every fucking 10 minutes when I am at work, boredom is real. This used to happen to me all the time until I figured out it was just me getting emails. Apparently it's possible to turn on notification sounds without turning on any other forms of notifications, meaning that the phone will vibrate but you won't see anything on screen. I usually only receive it when I am actively expecting a message. Too often, when I find out who decided to send software updates at 1:38 a.m., I'm going to have a few things to say to theme this year. I have a Moto G6 Plus. I used to have it a lot, more than 5 times a day, maybe 3 weeks ago, and really pissed me off. So I downloaded an app that tracks every notification and waited. It was my downloader manager, a system app. It was downloading a pair of files that I have already in my phone. Since I realized this, the fucker never did that again. I didn't turn off notifications, so I'm expecting to happen again, to literally explode. Okay, so I know what you are talking about. But also my phone does 2 tiny quick vibrations every once in a while with no reason as far as I can tell. No notification, passive or otherwise. Anyone have any idea what that's about? Android with Google Fi, by the way. Never once in my entire life. I don't vibrate, but I have a flashing red light in the corner of my phone whenever there's a notification. Whenever it's just in the corner of my eye, I see it flashing, but it never actually is. I can tell when it's fake too, because when it's real it flashes brighter than when my mind is playing tricks on me. I still have to check it though, lol. I used to get it all the fucking time. Multiple times a day. When I kept my phone in my front pocket. Have a bigger phone and keep it in my back pocket now and don't experience it at all. Not sure if it's my butt or the new phone, but the sensation is gone, lol. All the fucking time. Drives me nuts. I can know my phone is dead on another room and I will still slap my pocket like a damn idiot. Because I thought I felt it. Never heard of this before today, but I've heard it mentioned a couple times today already, lol. So often though. Probably once every week or so. Never realized this was a thing other people experienced. Not as often, but then again I lost my phone after using it as a vibrator. That's why I'm here. I spent a month in juvie as a teenager. I felt phantom vibrations fairly often for the first couple weeks. I thought this was a thing that only happened to me. Sometimes I feel it and my phone is in the opposite pocket, so I'm doing the slap pocket dance. Trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Turns out I'm just retarded. Sometimes my phantom alarm wakes me up in the middle of the night. How about when your leg gets a vibration but there is no cell phone there? There's a word for that. Loneliness. Every ducking 5 seconds. Every 5 minutes. Ha ha ha. Holy shit. I usually keep my phone in my right pocket at work, and I can swear I feel a vibration, but there's no notification or anything. I was thinking about it today and here I find this thread. I am not alone. Goddamn weight off my shoulders. I was seriously thinking it's some spy bullshit. Also, I don't feel those unless the phone is physically there. Or a pack of cigarettes. Or a wallet. Enough to think I'm retarded. Could you just be getting an email? Okay, now I know I'm not imagining it. Happens every single day when my phone is on my desk at work. Once to 3 times. I reckon it is intentional to try and get your eyes back in the screen. Way too often. I don't get it often except when I am cycling. I used to get it all the time when it was in my pocket at work before I switched to completely silent a few years back. I just check it every so often now. Always if I step on my bike and I drive and I stop, check my phone and nothing. I am very dumf. Several times a day. Constantly. Does not matter if the phone is with me or not. At least once a week. For me, I'll have it next to me on my bed and hear or feel it vibrating when it doesn't. Fucking constantly. More often than I would like to admit. I'm sure lonely and never to get notifications, so I imagine getting them often. At least once a day. Probably some Pavlovian thing where it feels like my jacket's vibrating, but it isn't. I wear jeans and every single time it's just one of the metal rivet things rubbing against some other part of the pants. In HS every 5 minutes. It has significantly gone down now that I get like one text a week. I would guess at least 8 to 10 times a week. So far today, I felt it 3 times on my way back to work from lunch. I was less than 10 minutes away and felt my phone vibrating in my pocket 3 times. I figured the first was a message. Then the other 2 were from it being left unread. I had 0 messages upon arriving at work. It happens all the fucking time. Once in a while. But usually it's just the feeling of having the phone in the pocket when it's not there, to be honest. I got one 10 seconds before opening Reddit and reading this. About once every few days. All the time. It's also gotten to the point where my Fitbit will do the phantom vibrate. Drives me nuts. Emails can cause my phone to vibrate without leaving a pop-up notification. I don't get the phantom vibe, but out of the corner of my eye I will see the blinking blue light. My S7 did, but I not longer have an S7 and my new phone does not do the same light, haha. Interestingly, I used to get it, but since I put my phone on silent for a bit and turned it back on vibrate since I've been waiting for a call back from a potential employer, I don't feel it anymore. Every day, skips some. All the time. If I don't put my password into my phone, then it goes off every 2 minutes. Always happens in the car. Anything vibrating, like the seatbelt buckle, and my brain starts telling me my phone is vibrating, even though my phone isn't in my pocket and also not ringing.